twice last season.
Alright guys,
and even
Dylan here, back with
the
more
whole Tommy versus
Persona 5.
Mickey
I am
and
listening
Holly
to
thing, when Nicole and
RJP,
Cliff were deciding what
but
to do.
it's 11:30 and we're continuing on Persona. I forgot, can we do anything right now? I doubt it, right?
We just haven't had that this season, so I guess that's what I'm missing.
Yeah, I would say like there were 2 moments this season.
Yeah, we just finished the Madarame Palace.
I would say that was number
So I'm
1.
not entirely sure what I want to do right now. I mean,
and number 2, when Devon won.
I don't know if I have a real goal here.
And used it, or she used it, and she used it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like those were the 2.
No, let's just do this.
Things and Kevin winning the veto are the only times when anybody other than the committee won anything, as long as you count Enzo as part of the Constitution. And that's the thing, like that is the problem with the season, I think, and that is like these competition outcomes.
Yeah, so tomorrow, I have tomorrow off, planning on spending a lot of the morning, so obviously I have to continue to take care of my dog, my parents' dog, so that's going to be going on throughout the day. I will probably spend a good chunk of the morning playing Persona. Okay, this is the plan for tomorrow. This is what I want to get done. Play a lot of Persona in the morning. Probably get to the start of the bank, hopefully, if we can. Probably start the bank by the end of tomorrow. That would be my goal there. I would also like to record my Global Survivor ranking. That's going to take forever, but I would like to record that tomorrow. After that, there's Big Brother, Amazing Race, American Ninja Warrior. Watch all those. That's the plan for tomorrow.
Enzo, you're over here, and also even through David HOH after Tyler had lost it, making sure that he was the one on the block, and it was from that point forward that things just started really gaining momentum and rolling downhill for Cody. But up until that point, it was fun for me to watch him do that, and now it was like after that point, it was like now I'm just watching the ball roll, and I'm waiting for like, is there gonna be some kind of like obstacle that pops up to make it like to help the momentum, and like no, it's just still rolling. But for me, like the season is not right now. The season is the whole thing, and I really did enjoy a lot of this season, especially at the start when I was seeing all these people. Like I'm never gonna forget the moment of having waited, 15 years to see this again, to see another All-Star Series. It's not 15 years because it's 15 seasons, 14 years. I thought it was 14. I said 14, and then I changed my mind to 15 because I was doing the math. I waited 14 years to see it. I waited 14 years to see Kaser back again, and I saw him, and I was so excited. And nothing can take that away from me. Just because it didn't pan out the way that I wanted to, doesn't mean that it's not the same show that gave me that joy to begin with. And I was so excited to see these people, and I'm still excited that I saw these people. I'm so excited that I have all of this new stuff to parse through when I'm looking at these characters, these players, and who they are and what they did. And in terms of just the overarching study that I do of Big Brother, I'm very excited about what I've learned this season in terms of the game structure, in terms of the players, and all of it. So, I get it. I'm just as bored as you guys right now. But when I look at the season as a whole, I'm so happy that it happened.
For me, I have to say, I totally get what you're coming from, where you're coming from for sure, and I partially agree with it. Although for me at least, I do think that the season for me peaked on the first episode, just because I was so excited seeing all these people back, and I was like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Are these people gonna work together? Are they gonna work against each other? What's the deal? And I just couldn't wait to get started. And I feel like it's kind of all been downhill from there, where there has been moments of maybe Tyler's gonna go against Cody, or maybe this is gonna happen. There was a lot of fun to speculate about possibilities moving forward it's just unfortunate because none of those possibilities
Well,
panned out.
they
And just
together.
we just kind of kept marching towards the conclusion instead of like any of the possibilities that could have come. And it was just a little bit. It was lackluster for me, I think, especially at such a promising first episode.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, okay, we had that stupid ball competition and everyone's upset about it, but like, other than that, like, the first episode was so exciting, seeing the introduction videos and like, you know, seeing what
Yes,
it's
I
like
agree.
right now, and
I don't
it's just so
disagree.
thrilling.
Let me just say this. Take the season, reverse it. Reverse it.
If we
Start,
take the season in reverse,
start at the end at the beginning in terms of your excitement level. And how do you feel? You feel pretty good about the season, right? You're like, oh, it started really boring, but it really started to ramp up, and it was so exciting at the
great
end.
at the end.
Right?
Okay.
It's the same amount of excitement, it's just a different order.
Yeah, although I'd probably prefer to have like more of like a, you know, peaks and valleys instead of going up or going
Yeah, I
down.
agree.
You know,
I like
it's like
peaks and
I want to
valleys.
see like, you know, like I want to be on a low and be like, oh my god, like Dan's never gonna get out of this one. He's going home, and then oh my god, they got the veto used on him. This all happened, and then oh no, next week who knows what's gonna happen? You know, it's like I like that sort of thing rather than just like, oh okay, everything's about the same.
Yeah, that's what I can't stand.
Or even like up to down or down to up.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I prefer-
Melissa, I'm with you. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, Connor Massey in the chat has it correct when he said, Terrence said hope, and we said nope. That's
Oh,
how I
sorry,
feel right
Terrence.
now. Terrence, the chat also says you're a half glass full kind of guy, and the rest of us are just half glass empty.
That's true. I am like such a half glass empty kind of
Me
person.
too, Melissa.
So this all makes sense then.
Yeah, we evaluated my personality in the Emotional Intelligence podcast.
Did you really?
Yeah, Rob was seriously like, oh, this is why, like, you're always the guy that's like, oh, I don't care. I still like
Oh,
it.
okay. I would love to do something like that.
Yeah, I'm very glass half empty pessimist. Totally.
All right, well, let's talk about what happened this week. We saw that
Let's do
Enzo
it.
won the HOH. He nominated Christmas and Nicole in order for Cody to retain his never nominated status, which I still don't fully understand why. Like in the diary room, he was like, "I'm gonna nominate him, yo," and then he was like, "Nah, yo, can't do it, yo. I need you to be with me, yo." And then Cody wins the veto, which means he is definitely not touching the block this season, and he currently plans to evict Christmas with his vote that he gets from having the veto.
I think that the never nominated thing is a big deal.
Yeah,
and I think
so
that he should have nominated
trying to think, what else have I talked
for
about?
sure.
What else have I
Yeah, I
talked
disagree.
about?
I don't think he should have, because Enzo has to be worried he's going to end up in third place again. Now that he sees, with the layout, and then assuming that Cody's probably the odds-on favorite to win the veto in Final Four, I think just go ahead and let him keep that, because Enzo also has that, so it's kind of a wash.
Yeah, well, it's
And then go to the end, and he doesn't want to piss off Cody any more than he already did with the HOH competition. I said this last night. Like, I feel like not nominating Cody there, showing, hey, bro, I want you to have that because I'm with you all the way. Like, that, you know, hopefully that can pull Cody back to his side a little bit if Cody wins Final 3 HOH.
I guess, like, for me, I think that a big selling point, and I think that Cody recognizes this because it's a big selling point on Big Brother 16 for Garrett, was the fact that he was never nominated. And I think that for Enzo, I guess you're right in that, like, if Enzo believes that he's going to get third place or second place, but not that he's going to win, like, it's either third or second and that's all he has left, then yes, I think, like, try and figure out a way to get taken to second. Whereas, like, if he's actually playing to win, I think that that's something he should consider, like, because otherwise, that's Cody's biggest argument, and everyone's gonna be like, okay, like, he's never nominated, and he's, like, played circles around us, you know?
I don't think that Enzo can accept getting third place again. No money, no nothing. Like, just, like, not even a seat at the Final 2. just getting third place again, while the other two people get $500,000 or $50,000. Now, I know that they all get a little bit of extra money for each place that they move up this season, which is unlike it was in Enzo's original season, but still, like, that's a big pot of money sitting at the end that Enzo is desperate to at least get $50,000. If he ends up in third place again, I don't think he's going to be able to handle it, which is why I think he's doing everything he can just to get to the end, and I don't think he's doing everything he can to win, to your point.
Yeah.
And I think part of it too is that, like, you want to do better than you did last time, and anything less than that is a failure, and so I think that kind of incentivizes you to play less.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to
get above third,
romance on
because if you have a choice at 5, like, I can
in
make
this
this
playthrough.
choice and I'm more likely to win, but I'm also more likely to go at 4 versus a choice that's like, okay, I can make this choice and I'm more likely to make it to second place and beat my previous record, but I'm a little less likely to actually win the thing. I feel like if you got third place before, you're a little more likely to go with the second option. If you made it to second place and you lost by a jury vote, you're a little more likely to go with the first option because you've already hit second place. The only way up from here is first place. So I do feel like that's part of it here. But that does lead us to the question: Is Enzo gonna get third place? Surely, if Nicole wins the HOH, he probably will. But will Cody cut Enzo? Or will he cut Nicole if he wins part 3 of the final 3 HOH? Now, I talked this morning about how Cody has talked to the cameras about saying
It's such a
that,
useless
like, hey,
ability.
I trust Enzo to take me to Final 2 more than I trust Nicole. I'm hoping that Enzo wins part 2. He is studying with Enzo. He's trying to coach Enzo up on how to beat Nicole in part 2. That makes me feel like he's more likely to take Enzo, but a lot of people still feel like he might take Nicole, and I think he might take Nicole, but a lot of people are, like, very sure that he's going to take Nicole, and I think maybe they were influenced by the Wall Yeller. I'm not sure. But I'm really, I still kind of feel like whoever wins part 2, Cody will probably take them. But right now, I do feel like he's leaning toward Enzo. Do you disagree, Melissa?
I mean, it's really hard to say. I think that, like, my thought was that he was gonna go for Nicole. But I don't know. Like, I really don't know. I was thinking, like, so yeah, if we're basically taking Christmas out of the equation, which I'm assuming we are, like, I think Nicole takes Cody. I think Enzo takes Cody, and I think Cody takes. I think Cody takes Nicole. I kind of feel like I see that. However, that's just honestly, that's kind of just me, my, like, gut feeling. But I don't really have any evidence to back it up, just because, like, I don't know.
So, Terry, why do you think that he takes Enzo? Because, like, I was listening to the episode last night, and a lot of people in chat were pretty convinced that he's going to take Nicole now.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of people really feel he's going to take Nicole, but I haven't really seen any real reason for it beyond just, like, he just seems more genuine with her. Which, like, I kind of get that. I kind of see that.
What do you want to do?
But
Actually, let's go to the
closer to
laundromat.
Enzo all season long. Like, he really was. Like, all season. At the time of the Wall Yeller, we were like, you didn't yell the right thing. It's not Cody and Nicole, it's Cody and Enzo.
Right.
Because it was.
Yeah, I also think that there might be an element to Cody where he's like, where I think Cody thinks he can win against either if he gets to the end, and Nicole already has $500,000, and Enzo has never even had a sniff at $50,000, so I think he might want to take Enzo to the end just to make sure that his boy at least gets $50,000. Like,
I see that.
Yeah.
I absolutely see that, because I see Cody, yeah, like, I see that being the type of person Cody is to be like, look, like, I gotta give Enzo, like, some money or whatever, like, I gotta give Enzo a shot. He's never made it to Final 2 before, whereas Nicole, you have. I could see him doing that. At the same time, like, I could see a situation where, like, he wants to, like, reward loyalty, I guess. Like, he feels like Nicole has been loyal to him the whole time versus Enzo has been kind of messing up recently and, like, not really, and kind of playing for himself instead of playing for the two of them. And so I can see a situation where he's like, look, like, Nicole has stuck with me the entire time. Like, like from the beginning we were working together. Like we started out with Big Brother journey on Big Brother 16 together, and now look at us.
Fuck.
You know, like I could see.
I was worried about that too.
So I could really see it going either way. Like
That we would get a spot where we could have read a book, but we didn't have any books anymore.
Like, I think the argument about like, oh, Enzo's never been, and like he's, you know, it would give him some money, whereas Nicole already has the money. Like I can see that.
Yeah, I know that the chat is also talking about the conversation that Cody and Enzo had last night, where they were like, you know, Nicole already has her money, we haven't gotten that money yet. But remember, like, Cody's having that conversation with Enzo, so of course he's going to say something like that. Like, what is Cody saying in a vacuum? That's what we don't know right now.
Yeah, and just like I remember the way that Cody talked about Nicole throughout a good portion of the season. Like, he was working with her, but like, not because he like really likes her. Like, he was working with her because he had to, and he was like, I understand that like she requires constant maintenance. Like, I'm constantly having to do this. She admits to him after Danny leaves that she did come in with Danny. She knew Danny ahead of time. She was friends with Danny ahead of time. That was not something that she told Cody until after Danny left. And he was like, I kind of figured.
With the actual headset on.
And he had to slowly work on turning Nicole against Danny. Enzo was always on his side, except for that one bit with Tyler. He did have to work on Enzo that time. And at the start of the season, he also was like, I mean, I like Enzo, but it's hard to like talk to him like one-on-one sometimes. It's like not fully always like present. I think that's the mirroring that's happening. But he's like, I don't think he's like
Oh, here we go.
super
This is the
invested
Kalkami
in
stuff, right?
either relationship, so much so that he would never go the other way. And the way that's why like the way he's talking about Nicole last night to the cameras, saying like she's sneaky, she's trying to tell me that like she knows she can't beat me, but she's still gonna take me anyway. Like, I don't believe that. Like, I just feel like that's not the way you talk about somebody that you are like, she's been so loyal to me that I'm gonna take her to the end. You know what I mean?
The landlord
Yeah,
seriously doesn't care.
I mean, I'd love to see it because I would love to see Nicole get cut in third. Although, like, ironically, like, I have grown to like Nicole more than on her original 2 seasons. Like, I like her now. I don't think that's gonna make her unblock me, but that's but I still like her more than I did before, and I respect her game more than I did before.
Yeah, what happens if you're in the middle of doing the Madarame stuff? Like, would we just like be forced to still do this?
She's just been all Nicole. Like, I guess you could say she had all over Danny all season, but like, how many years ever context? Yeah. So I really like the Nicole that I saw this year. They all are deserving in their own way. It's just that like they've been in control all season long, so that's what makes it tough to take.
It'll be too late once people
So like I said, I feel like Cody's leaning toward Nicole to evict Nicole and take Enzo. Melissa feels like it's the other way around, leaning toward taking Nicole. Brent, how do you feel? What's your call?
Let us know when you're ready.
With Cody taking whoever,
Yeah.
So what's the code name for this operation?
I think he takes it.
Yeah, I think it takes Enzo.
Watch, when Cody takes Nicole, I will have video proof that I was one person who saw this.
And if it doesn't go that way, are you gonna lose everything that you've built to this point?
No, I'll just deny.
Okay. Well, I asked the audience if Cody has to choose between Enzo and Nicole, who will he choose to keep? And this time, 55% of the audience said Enzo.
Hey there.
Wow, that's close.
Yeah. It's pretty similar to the percentages it was last week as well. But Enzo has gained a little bit here this
Yeah,
time.
Taryn wants his $100 back.
He's like, would you bet me $100?
Nah, I would. I don't feel that confident about it.
No, I don't feel that confident either.
Yeah, Melissa.
I feel pretty confident.
Melissa's daddy.
That at least as of right now, he is taking Enzo. And like by a week from now, who the fuck knows? By the time they end the season, which is a week from tomorrow now. It's kind of crazy to think about.
Whoever thought that, bless you. Laugh every freaking time.
Oh my god. Yeah, Brent, you don't have nearly enough fake accounts. Like, Taryn's got Daddy Taryn running around in
Right? Shirley's Taryn, Daddy Taryn. I think there's a Mommy Taryn, Mama Taryn. Yes. Melissa Bots.
Yeah, I've just got
Denny's.
Melissa's Denny's.
Yeah, I'm just a character unto myself. That's why people.
Yeah, they're like, we really can't top this.
Yeah,
We
right.
can't get any more characters than this.
Oh
Alright. So I also asked the audience, who should Cody evict this week? They said Christmas. 70% of them said Christmas. Actually, 30% of them said Nicole.
Those are just haters. We know. Come on, we know. Those are haters.
Sorry.
Those are Brent followers. They're like, Nicole, shoot yourself in the foot, Cody. Go ahead, do it.
Do it.
Alright, anything else we need to talk about before we rate these players?
I'm sorry.
No.
I did already look at my
Let's bring
stock
up
watch. I did go up, but like I predicted, obviously everyone went all in on Cody. So like I did go up like 17 spots. I think I went from 62 to 45.
So yes,
Definitely not back to where it was, but again, obviously the move is to go all in on Cody.
So Phil gave Christmas a 4, and that was on Tuesday when things were a little bit up in the air. Cody a 9, Enzo 7. See, I would probably give Enzo an 8. And I think my. So I don't want to spoil it, but I feel like you guys are being really taken in. Melissa gave Enzo an 8. I feel like you guys are really being taken in by the jury and thinking that Enzo really doesn't have a chance. I think that is misdirection, honey. I think Enzo is a viable threat to win the game if it gets to the end, and y'all are underestimating him. So I would have given him an 8.
Yeah,
And
Enzo
I
went
probably
down
would've
to a
bumped
6. I saw, which is pretty surprising to me.
Because,
Like he's
well,
below fucking
it's
Nicole,
okay. So
which I don't agree with. I still think Enzo has a better chance of winning the game
Alright, well,
than
let's talk about this week.
Nicole,
Let's
but
talk about this week. We can start with
whatever, I guess.
With Christmas here.
Yeah.
Melissa, how do you feel about Christmas this week?
I know.
I mean, I don't think Christmas is doing a bad job or anything, but I just don't think she's gonna stay, and I don't really think.
I gave Christmas a 2, Cody a 10, Enzo a 7, Nicole a 6,
So you know, I guess.
which is pretty similar to the scores they actually got. Just switching Enzo and Nicole. This is fucking long. Why is this in this? Again, like these scenes are so fucking boring.
Or it's like I don't know if they're gonna stay, but they're doing fine as well. So I think because we know she's probably going out the door, but I think that she's trying as best she can, and it's kind of like whatever. I guess I gotta give her a 3, I guess, because she's leaving. Normally I'd
What
probably
we got?
give her a 4 or 5 if there was a chance that she wasn't gonna leave, but I just don't see it, so I gotta give her a 3.
I mean, like, maybe I'm missing
Alright,
something here,
let's do it.
but like, if she gets a 1, like, there's no way she's getting out of this, and she's gone. Like, her stock could not be any lower. I realize that she's not playing terrible, but her position in the game is absolutely, bitterly atrocious.
All right.
Like,
Yeah.
there's no coming back from this.
Look, like, but here's the thing is that, like, it seemed like she would be in a good spot because Enzo, if he was smart, would want to take Christmas as far as possible.
Oh,
Yeah,
Enzo
But
does.
Enzo is the HOH, that's the problem. Her ally won HOH, which is never good. I just retweeted this from Adam Klein the other day. Actually,
Yeah,
today,
no, for
sorry.
sure.
Yeah, like, your ally winning HOH is terrible for you at the Final Four because that person no longer has a vote. They can't do anything to help you. It's either you or nothing.
It's just, it's not good for her. It's unfortunate because, like, it makes more sense for Enzo to keep her around, and it makes sense for Nicole to keep her around. So, like,
Neither one of them have a vote.
but neither one of them can do anything about it. So, you know, it's just
And
it's that.
everything Nicole wouldn't do it. Nicole wouldn't do it, even though she should. Like,
Yeah, in that spot, it actually would have been better for Christmas if Cody had won the HOH, because if she targets Enzo, make sure that Enzo doesn't win, or, you know, that might change his mind about who he's gonna cut in the Final Four. But it's better for her that Enzo wins, that Enzo doesn't win, that Cody wins over Enzo. Obviously, she would win. That's best case scenario, but if Cody wins, then if Enzo wins the veto, he cuts Nicole, and she's made it into the final 3. So, whereas the way it was set up, unless she won veto, she was dead. So, yeah, not great.
Yeah, it really matters about veto. Like, that's really what matters is the veto when it comes down to it.
And I will say, like, I don't think that she's, like like it's not a 1 in the sense that she really screwed herself up here. That is, she's the reason she's going home this week because she should have done something else. She is trying, and that makes me inclined to give her like a 2. But I don't like the way she's trying. I don't think it's particularly effective. And on top of that, like even if she did stay, I still feel like she can't win. That's the thing. Like she hasn't, like she needed to win a competition and she just couldn't. She just couldn't. And that's it. Like what jury vote is she gonna win? How is she gonna win this game? She can't. Even if she did survive this, even if Cody decided, you know what, I'm gonna cut Nicole, she still can't win this game. She's still a 1 in my books. So like if things changed and her fate suddenly went from definitely evicted to amazing, she's survived, I'm still like, yeah, but she's not winning. Which means I have to give her a 1. I have to. So there it is. The audience though, they agreed with Melissa.
Yeah.
They gave her a 3.
3.
Voice of the people strikes again.
There you go.
Wait, what the fuck? Melissa gave her a 3.
So,
Okay, fine.
let's move on. Let's talk about Cody. Let's talk about Cody. I'm pretty sure we're ready to talk about Cody. I don't know.
Alright.
Brent has morphed into some letters.
He said he's going to get some Tylenol.
Oh, yeah.
I'm here. I just had to go get some Tylenol. I had a headache, bitch. I typed it.
Wait, what was it?
Let's talk about Cody.
Yeah, I saw it in the chat. Sarah's like, I don't know what the heck happened to
I
Brent.
think I'm looking at
Calling
the
him
chat.
out.
I was gone for like 30 seconds. I'm like, go to Melissa. I'm almost back.
Yeah, Jared, you go first with Cody.
Okay, I'll go first with Cody. I mean, I think this is a pretty easy one, to be honest. He's basically already won this thing. Like, if there's ever a week to give a 10, it is this week, and it is Cody. The 10 paddle is out. I think I've said this on the podcast this week, that I've never seen anybody in a Final Four that I've been this. I wasn't even this confident in Derek. I was like, I thought there was a chance that Cody would cut Derek.
Yep. Riley, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Riley
says,
she brought her purse over. Really, you want the purse?
That's her purse?
It's a toy
Oh my gosh,
box.
that's so
It's literally,
funny.
it looks like a little purse. It came with a little iPhone in
That's
it.
so adorable.
It's very funny. But yeah, okay. Riley. Dennis. Okay.
Alright.
Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I mean, it's just like, this is, it couldn't be more locked in than it is. I guess if you know, Nicole and Enzo were explicitly saying we're taking
Looks like
Cody no
Machine
matter
is
what,
waiting for us in
but they're
Shibuya.
basically saying that is about as
Why
close
not?
as we're ever
Let's do
probably
it.
gonna get.
Fuck it.
And even though these jury segments could be misleading, these are just about some of the most obvious jury segments I think we've ever gotten in terms of just
Oh,
like,
okay. I was gonna say, like, why the fuck
jury
is it so
segments,
fucking bright?
Both of which were very pro Cody. The most
actually,
anti-Cody
since we're
person there,
here-
Kevin, was saying if they don't cut Cody, they deserve to lose. Like Cody deserves a thing, a confessional where he says, "I've completely flipped around on Cody. I think he's playing the best game." I couldn't ask for a more positive outlook for Cody, and so yeah, it's a 10.
Yeah, same.
3 10s.
310.
What did the audience do? It's so hard for the
What do
audience
you
to
wanna
average
do?
a 10. Were they able to do it? Because last week they averaged a 9, which is a feat unto itself.
Alright, let's go, and I think it's this store, right?
Gave him a 9. Yeah, they gave him a 9.
Okay.
If you got 10s across the board, that would be very impressive.
10s across the board.
I don't know. I don't know this off the top of my head. Maybe Christina is in the chat and she has this information, but it looks like right now it's an average score of 8.72. So it's actually not even close to a 10. But that might be one of the highest scores that have ever been given by the audience.
Alright, let's go.
That's crazy.
I will say this is one of those situations where if I used the other one.
The what? The other one.
Here's lots of
the audience is just not going to get to a 10, which means it's going to take at least 2 10s from the panel to make a 10. This is the way it is.
That's the way it is.
All right. Let's talk about Enzo. Brent.
Yes.
About Enzo.
Yes, I know better than I think the rest of you about Enzo. So I listened to the jury segments. I do think that there is a little bit hide the ball with Enzo. I know that some people have been, dogging his game a little bit, and also specifically saying that they don't cut Cody, they deserve to lose. There's still a chance that Enzo could cut Cody. I don't think it's likely that he will, but overall, I have to feel like he's playing about as well as he can do right now. I think he might have lost the game when he didn't evict Nicole during the triple eviction. I think that was the point in time where, it's a little results oriented to look back at it, but that's where I feel like he lost the game, because he kept Nicole in, and even though Nicole was definitely somebody who was on, a quote-unquote his side, she was really on Cody's side more than anything, and that's why I feel like it's just a really rough spot for him right now. It looks like he's probably going to get to the end, but it's looking dicey from the jury confessionals that he's going to win or not. But I still like his chances. And you know what? I'm sorry. Cody can come off a little bit antiseptic at times, and Enzo has heart, and that's something that Cody does not have. I think that Enzo is in there with a chance. So I'm going to give him an 8.
An 8? Oh
yes.
Boy. All right. I'll give this one. I'll give an alternative perspective for Melissa, and then she can decide. I know she likes that.
Yes, I do.
I gave Enzo a 7 last week. That might have been one of the lowest scores I've given Enzo all season. I am just not as receptive to the idea that he can win this thing. I mean, if I'm trying to look at votes, I think, okay, let's try and say that Kevin, that was a misleading segment for Kevin. That Kevin really is still an Enzo vote, and we were just hearing, whatever from him.
Oh yeah, it's Catherine Fouquet, right? It's Calcano.
Okay, so he's got Kevin. We heard from Devon that she hasn't seen any gameplay from Enzo. She needs to see more from Enzo. I don't really think there's anything else to show there, but let's say that she's wanted more, and she'll find a reason to say she saw more, so she can Enzo a vote.
I'm a dad.
Final 4. That's 4 competitions. Okay, cool.
Yeah, right, exactly. That's exactly what I mean. So then let's say that Cody is the one that took Enzo, and that means he cut Nicole, and let's be real, she's still voting for Cody. But let's say she's really bitter about it. Maybe that's a third vote there. He's not getting Danny, but let's he's not getting Memphis. But let's say that maybe Tyler, I know he was saying, hey, you need to do something, you can't take Cody. But let's say Tyler just feels more loyalty to Enzo, and he wants to go Enzo. Okay, that's 4. He still needs one more. Christmas, I can see, okay, she doesn't really want to give it to Cody. She feels very betrayed by Enzo. She's also telling Enzo, don't take Cody, but she has a better relationship with Enzo. Okay, and maybe David as well. David wasn't, the closest, person to, and then maybe that gets the ball rolling, and maybe Ian is there. So I can kind of see that.
If you squint your eyes, you can see it.
Yeah. But every single one of those people is okay, there's not a single person I think is just a given Enzo vote. Every single vote is something he'd have to fight for, I think.
It's like the electoral college with all the battleground states. Yes, they could vote for Enzo, but they could all go for Cody as well. They could all just go for Cody. Yeah. Whereas Enzo doesn't have anything in his pocket.
Yeah, Enzo can maybe get 5 or 6 votes, or he could lose unanimously.
Yes, I agree.
And on top of that, I think that he's the least likely person to win the final 3 HOH, and that means that his fate rests in Cody's hands, which means that let's even just pretend that let's say Cody has a 40% chance to win, Nicole has a 40% chance to win, and Enzo has a 20% chance. So I think that's relatively fair. Maybe a little higher. Maybe Nicole's 35, Enzo's 25 or something like that.
I think that's fair.
Then with Cody's
It appears you're
percentage, I
lying
think
low
you have to
lately.
split it.
Let's
in
get the
half.
I don't get where they're getting this that Nicole has a better
Cody
chance of
wins,
winning against
he could
Enzo.
still go. He could still take
Or
Nicole.
of winning the game. Like, I just don't see it. Like, if it's Cody and Enzo, or if it's Cody, if it's Enzo and Nicole at the end, I do feel like Enzo has,
final two than he otherwise would have been, and I think she's more likely to win her
has,
two. So,
I can see what she's
like
going.
relying on that Cody win is like
Don't
is
worry
diminishing
about it.
returns,
Must have been my
and so he has to win
imagination.
himself, and he's
Anyway,
likely to win. So
wish the
I think
culprit
he
would come forward
is
soon.
not
It's
quite as
absurd to
likely to
pretend
make
I
it
can
there
do the police's job.
as maybe
I wish you
Nicole, who just
considered
has a
my
better chance of
feelings
just
before
getting there
asking me
herself.
this.
And on top of that, does have a chance for Cody to
I feel like her
take
I thought her voice was
or,
deeper
yeah,
than
and
that.
so, like with all that said, I'm
Hold on.
feeling a 5 for Enzo.
yeah.
That's
Wow.
look, I mean, it's the I'm
Okay.
giving Cody a 10 because I'm just so sure he's got this thing, and that means that
Alright,
I've got Enzo
so-
all the way down to a 5.
I forgot. Wait, how do I want to do
He's
this?
not even
So,
guaranteed a spot in the final two, and even if he gets there, I don't think he's got much of a shot to win. And
we're 20
that's what it
hours
is.
in.
Now, if Enzo tells me, or the cameras, or somebody, that hey, I'm gonna cut Cody in the final 3, or if he gets Nicole to
Yeah,
take
one
him,
tier. Thanks for
even
continuing
that
on
would
for
be
now.
better
Thank you for
than,
watching.
I think just